Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about a public schism in the ranks of Supreme Court justices about whether an ethics code is needed. Now, this, for starters, let's just make this point. It's inescapable. Is it kind of go with the territory or just a bad coincidence? But the really bad actors here are one, Sam Alito, two, Clarence Thomas, or maybe the other order. And then there's some worries about the chief judge as well. But the real bad actors are the two most conservative members. Now, how does that sort of dovetail with the whole dynamic of the court, with their overall, I would say, in difference to public views and the high-handed way in which Alito wrote an opinion overruling Roe v. Wade? Maybe not at all, but it seems hard to ignore that dynamic. And the information that comes out just seems to get worse and worse and worse. There was now a new thing about Thomas and a big loan, but we don't know the circumstances about whether it was forgiven and all that it was used for. Again, one of his, rich buddies. And Alito's kind of trips the accepting passage on a private plane of a guy he hardly knows. It's all bad stuff. They have yet to amend. They got an extension, their financial disclosure form, and they'll see what they say. In the meantime, though, today's headline, Justice Elana Kagan has had enough. It's just humiliating to the Supreme Court. There were these hearings 2 weeks ago in the Senate, and, they come across as looking completely imperious. And you have Justice Alito advancing the view in the public sphere that Congress basically can't regulate the court at all. At least the way he put it, it's like a silly view. The Article 2 and 3 make clear that Congress has certain power. There's not just the power of the purse, but jurisdiction, numbers of justices, all kinds of things. So who knows what Alito is actually talking about? There may be certain versions of it that are not quite as ridiculous, but as I say, Kagan, I think she's just totally embarrassed for the court. So she just says, it can't be that the court's the only institution that somehow is not subject to checks and balances. We are not imperial. And then directly, dissing Alito, which they don't like to do, if they can avoid it. But it seems like she's concluded the stakes for the court are just too high. Can Congress do various things to regulate the Supreme Court? I think the answer is yes. And so she's now on the other side of also a doctrinal and academic divide with Alito, but now on record is saying, we've got to have some kind of meaningful ethics reform. And it doesn't look like anyone except Alito and Thomas it would matter for, but for them it might matter a real lot. And there's a lot of stories we still don't have the full details of. And, that would be part, I guess, of passing ethics reform. So, it's hard to know the extent to which Alito and Thomas's opposition have to do with, keeping cloistered certain information. But I think it's significant that there's now a divide in the court itself. And at every hearing now, you'll be able to hear White House and others say, even Justice Kagan, a member of the court, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, will at the end of the day, the court, as it seems to make so much sense to do, it's not that hard to follow ethical rules or get exceptions or whatever. So this is just a matter of people knowing about it. It seems such a self-inflicted wound that the court, is huffily resisting. So we'll see how it plays out, but definitely it's a giant step closer with the open opposition to Alito of Justice Kagan and the advocacy for a code of ethics. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.